Yes. So, right away, speaking with patients, both those who had some kind of sexual problem, often in the context of a chronic medical problem, not always, but sometimes, because, medical conditions are common and sexual life, can continue despite other medical difficulties, including mental health, but also physical health. So speaking with our patients, I realized that often the concern was about desire or its lack. And that was very interesting. And people, I realized, meant different things about what desire was and what it was they were missing. But it was often focused on that for both women and men. And as you are mentioning, the idea that sex could be portrayed in terms of getting aroused and then getting more aroused and then having an orgasm and then feeling wonderful and it's all over in this kind of line was part of the story, but only part of the story, because why did they start getting aroused or not? Well, it's because, there was some arousal there and some desire to act on it. So, in that line, there's the desire part, the motivation to start the whole process or continue the whole process. That little piece of the experience wasn't there. And actually, amusingly, now I'm recalling, we had to teach, unlike your medical school experience, Sadaf, and my own, at University of British Columbia, where we are part of their teaching faculty, we have always taught sexual medicine. So if you're UBC trained and you don't know about sex, that does not make any sense. In fact, I remember a student once saying to me, you know what, I feel more comfortable taking a sexual history now than setting an arm with a fracture. So I thought that was quite sweet. So having, not having, but being asked to and being very pleased to teach a person in the sexual medicine clinic told me, it's great you're here and you can teach, but when I asked, why are we not teaching about sexual desire and its lack? Oh, nobody understands about sexual desire. Just don't mention it. Well, that's not very helpful.
Yeah.
So that's what it all was about, like trying to understand how this whole... Actually, Masters and Johnson spoke about a sex response cycle. They used the word cycle. And along with then Helen Kaplan, who isn't often mentioned, but she was an integral part of this beginning to try and understand what goes on. She spoke about desire.
Desire, yes.
And she spoke about kind of an external desire that's triggered and a kind of an internal pushing that's coming from somewhere. So, it kind of got lost, but it was there. It's there in the literature. It's, I'm not the origin of the sexual desire by any means. I'm not the first person to talk about it.
Yeah.
Fred Totes wrote about it in the 80s. I'm sure you know about this, but, it just didn't get into mainstream. I guess they didn't draw